Hey guys, most people know what a wisteria looks like. I have one that is in a different form than most people are used to. This is grown as a standard. Now standard in plants is known as tree form. That sounds a little bit better, so they say standard. Now this one I've had in the ground for about 4 years at my house. It was at a client's house. I used to do landscape and property maintenance, and it was knocking off blocks from the side of the house. It had grown up a two-story house and was getting behind some decorative rock and throwing it on the floor. They didn't want it, so they told me to dig it up and get it out of there. So I hate killing things, especially plants, and they don't hurt us, so I went and I dug it out. It did take, I'd say, a few hours, but this thing has done the weirdest things since. You can see it is tied because last year I let it get a little out of control and it did try and sway on me. It was leaning towards one side. But you can see there's open blooms here on the top. I wish you could smell them because they have a nice, very fragrant smell. But it's not all coming to life at the same time. It looks like the tips came to life first. And excuse me, it does need to be pruned, but I do it after it blooms, because if not, you lose a lot of blooms, especially on a standard. On a vine, you can get away with it because you usually have a lot bigger plant than what I got here. But let me see if I can get a close up of one of these limbs. You can see this limb here, the buds are barely starting to swell. And if we come over here, you can even see there's buds in different stages. These ones will probably take about another week or two to bloom. So what I'm hoping it'll do is start at the tips and run its way down the main stalk of it. They don't produce blooms everywhere, just on new wood, so it'll be, well, not necessarily new wood, I guess it's last year's new growth. But so on here you'll see there's a couple little stumps where, let's see if I can find it with the camera. There it is. It's just about a little inch growth that came off. Right there we should be expecting a couple buds. Right here some more. But you're not going to get anything on this thick part unless you have a little new growth point. And I think I did a pretty good job of taking them all off. Oh, there's one. You can see that one's swollen already. The reason I have this as a standard is because where I worked, the guy had two of them as standards, and this one was a vine against the house. If we look down here, you can see there's a couple branches that I took off. I had left them when I first put it, but I think that's why it was leaning too much, because it was quite a bit of a tree. This is even like twice the size of my old customer's tree. He did keep his about, well, I kept his about 4.5 feet tall. This one I'd say is about 9. I know that's probably stretching it a bit, and that's probably why I had to tie it, but I like the size, and it does provide a lot of cover for my yard and quite a bit of privacy. The reason it does look so tangled up and stuff, like I say, it was a vine before, and I tried to just stay away from it as much as I could with the pruners last year and let it develop a bit of a frame. This year I got to go through and take, I'd say probably about half of it off. Won't be a big deal, it will grow back. I do have to go through and prune it periodically. I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a little sooner. But when you grow something as a standard that wasn't meant to be, like a vine, which this is, since vines grow pretty rapidly, if you don't tend to it, you'll have a tangled mess, and it will be reaching the floor in a matter of weeks. So this is why you got to think about what you want as a standard. Like over here I have a hibiscus, common hibiscus. That one's a lot easier to keep as a standard, of course. There's some pruning that needs to be done, which will probably be another video, but it doesn't grow nearly as much as this does. Reason I like the standard, gives you room to play with stuff that you normally wouldn't have in small yards like I got, and I really don't have anywhere for this thing to climb, especially not anything strong enough. So I figure if I can get the best of both worlds with the size, the shade, the bloom, I'll do the best I can. Hope this is something you guys are interested in. If not, I'm sorry to waste your time, but thank you for watching either way.